New Zealand's response to the global COVID-19 pandemic has ramped up again today after the Prime Minister urged people over the age of 70 to stay indoors. That's more than 500,000 people. There are new restrictions on bars and restaurants and all domestic travel, including for the school holidays, and that travel is being discouraged. The number of confirmed cases of the illness rose to 52 today, and Jacinda Ardern says New Zealanders all need to play a part in saving lives. Ms Ardern held a special nationwide broadcast at midday to inform people about a new alert system for dealing with the pandemic. Our reporter, Nita Blake-Person, has the details.
I'm speaking directly to all New Zealanders today to give you as much certainty and clarity as we can as we fight COVID-19.
An unprecedented address from the Prime Minister to the nation for an unprecedented situation.
I understand that all of this rapid change creates anxiety and uncertainty, especially when it means changing how we live. That's why today I'm going to set out for you as clearly as possible what you can expect as we continue to fight the virus together.
That fight now involves an alert system for responding to the outbreak, what to do and when.
Alert level 1 is where COVID-19 is here but contained. In this phase, we prepare. The basics like border measures, contact tracing and cancelling mass gatherings are all activated. You will see that this is where we have been when COVID first arrived in New Zealand. Alert level 2 is where the disease is contained but the risks are growing because we have more cases. This is when we move to reduce our contact with one another. We increase our border measures and we cancel events. This is also the level where we ask people to work differently if they can and cancel unnecessary travel. Alert level 3 is where the disease is increasingly difficult to contain. This is where we restrict our contact by stepping things up again. We close public venues and ask non-essential businesses to close. And alert level 4. This is where we have sustained transmission. This is where we eliminate contact with each other altogether. We keep essential services going, but we ask everyone to stay at home until COVID-19 is back under control.
At the moment, we're at alert level 2, but Jacinda Ardern says we need to be ready to step up our response if needed.
Today we are asking people over 70 years of age, or people who have compromised immunity or underlying respiratory conditions, to stay at home as much as they can.
It's all with the number one aim to slow down COVID-19, easing the pressure on health services, which is beginning to ramp up. There were 13 confirmed new cases over the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 52.
The locations of these new cases are 4 in Wellington, 1 in Taranaki, 3 in Auckland, 1 in Waikato, 1 in Taupo, 1 in Manawatu, and 2 in Nelson.
The Director General of Health, Dr Ashley Bloomfield, can't rule out the risk of community transmission in the Wairarapa case, which has been confirmed as a staff member at Carterton District Council and in one of the Auckland cases. That risk of community transmission is what could lead to certain parts of the country having their alert levels raised.
What we need to do is look at, of course, not just any evidence of community transmission, but also what's happening around the country and where it's happening. And if, for example, we have a person who has done a lot of travel around the country and we can't identify exactly where that community transmission occurred, then we may look at the whole country. But generally speaking, we would be looking first of all just at that local community.
All non-essential travel domestically is being discouraged, even during the upcoming school holidays. Jacinda Ardern says every unnecessary movement gives COVID-19 a chance to spread. But schools will stay open for now. Specific guidelines have been developed by the Ministry for Education if that needs to change.
In alert level 2, if there is a case attached to a school, the school will close. There will be contact tracing, 72 hours of thorough cleaning, and then the school will reopen. If we have wider community outbreak, that guidance may change, but I want to assure people, my number one concern, of course, is the school, the people who work within it, but the children as well. Breaking schools up now may not, however, reduce community transmission.
The government is stressing that supermarkets and essential services like pharmacies will continue to operate at every level of the alert system and that people should shop normally and keep calm. But Dr. Bloomfield's message is clear: the way we interact from now on needs to change.
Physical distancing is, of course, fundamental to our collective response, and we ask all New Zealanders to conscientiously play their part in following the guidelines related to social contact and the ban on mass gatherings larger than 100 people indoors or 500 people outdoors. Both are on, those guidelines are on the Ministry of Health's website.
If you can't go out and maintain 2 metre separations from other people, the advice is to stay in. But physical separation doesn't mean cutting people off from the community. Those who are well and not self-isolating are being encouraged to help drop off supplies to others and to check in that neighbours and the elderly are doing okay. A nationwide response to a global threat. Jacinda Ardern says Covid-19 will be with us for some time and New Zealand needs to be able to maintain its response.
For now, I ask that New Zealand does what we do so well. We are a country that is creative, practical, and community-minded. We may not have experienced anything like this in our lifetimes, but we know how to rally and we know how to look after one another. And right now, what could be more important than that? So thank you for all that you're about to do. Please be strong, be kind, and unite against COVID-19.
That was Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern.